5 whole people. It's my brother's an idiot, and the Goon Squad has assembled. We're going to talk Broncos. We're going to talk playoff football. We're going to do some dipshits of the week. And yes, the dipshit will be joining us. She's just running a little bit behind. Hey, fellas, what's going on? Mark, what's up?
Yo, yo, yo. It's a beautiful Friday evening. Getting ready for some wonderful playoff action. Speaking of playoffs, there was another game today. Yeah, there you go. So there was some games today, and we've got college football that goes until almost the end of January now. So how much football can you handle? More football.
I can handle
more football.
Right on.
Also, our beer of the month is Athletic, so these 6-packs are like $8 for me right now. So I am enjoying a hazy.
I was gonna say that looks like a free. That looks like a free wave.
It is. I am enjoying one right now.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Tank,
Not bad.
Tank, what's going on, bud?
Staying busy. Kids got back in school, so that makes life a little bit easier day to day. But it's also been snowing, so they only had 2 half days. So that was fun. But besides that, doing good.
We had about a foot that I had to shovel out yesterday. That was fun.
We did not get nearly that bad, but for some reason they still closed the school. So I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes the other side of Monument gets hammered, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, we got 8 inches here, and yeah, it was good times. Good times.
Nice.
Deep enough that the dog had to sit in the snow. You know.
We're lucky that I still have a strong back for at least the rest of this season to help me shovel this out. And like, you're helping. Come on, get up. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Put those young
Put
men
the
to
boy
work.
to work.
Yeah. All right, come on. We're going to do this together. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get right into the nitty gritty. And I told the boys just a little while ago we were going to do a blind rank. As you may know, the Broncos are playing the Bills, and there are quite a few Broncos connections playing for the Bills. KJ Hamler, backup punt returner, is playing for the Bills. However, there is one name that always comes up, and that is one Von Miller. Gentlemen, I put this to you, and I'm going to give you a second to ponder because I'm going to read for you what the dipshit said. Where does Von Miller rank on the list of all-time Broncos? The dipshit put him number 2. And then she said ahead of John Elway. Do we dare guess who her number 1 Denver Bronco is?
No, it's got to be Prater.
You're close. It's Jason Elam.
I was going to say Jason Elam, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Prater was her boy forever.
Yeah.
So
Picking for the memes, that one.
Yeah.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Her affinity for kickers, yeah, you knew it was going to be one of them.
Tim Tebow. Toaster, go ice your knee. All right. I don't want to hear it. All right. So, Mark, we'll start with you. Where do you rank Von Miller in the list of all-time Denver Broncos?
Man. So he's got to be pretty high up there on the defensive side, right? So you've got, if you break it down, you've got offense and defense, and that's where we're staying there. And you can do a bunch of stuff on the offensive side. You can say Peyton and John both deserve to be on there. You can say Shannon Sharp deserves to be on there. You can say Terrell Davis deserves to be on there. But right now we're not going to we're going to disqualify all of those people. We're just going to talk about a defensive top 10, because you got to figure out where he is there and then slot him in wherever you want, right?
No, I'm not going to let you do that. You're going to have to go all time.
I know. I'm going there, but in order to do that, I'm compartmentalizing by putting him on an all-time defensive list and then comparing that list across. So yeah, it's a little convoluted, but go with me here. So all-time Broncos. We're talking about Champ Bailey, right? Champ's got to be on that list. Steve Atwater got to be on that list. You can go way back, say like Carl Mecklenburg. Give me some other ones. Tombstone Jackson.
Well, but before you even get to Mecklenburg, you've got Gradishar.
Yeah,
Gradishar. Where does he rank with those guys? And then you could even go specifically linebackers, because technically Vaughn did play outside linebacker. He was a pass rushing specialist, but his position is qualified as outside linebacker. in that defense when he was
Yeah,
here.
he's an edge technically.
Yeah. So where does he rank amongst linebackers? Now you got to talk about Al Wilson, John Mobley, Bill Romanowski, for those of you who will go with me on that one. I think you will have your chance to talk, sir. You will have your chance. Amongst all of these guys, you got to put him. That DeMarcus Ware's up here too, right? He was here for a short time, but that short time was a good time. I would put him number 2 behind Champ Bailey all time. And Pat Surtain is rapidly approaching the top of that list already in his young career. And we may have another one on that list. Nick Benito here as a young budding star, if he can stay around. I'm putting him number 2 on that list behind Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey, for me, the recency bias, what I saw growing up, that AFC champion or that AFC playoff game where he intercepted the ball against Tom Brady and ran it down the sideline for that pick 6 was awesome. Just core memories for me. So I've got Vaughn winning that Super Bowl right behind Champ Bailey. Slot him in. I will put him at number. Oh boy. So I've got John Elway's got to be 1, unfortunately, just because he was there and did all this stuff and put that team together. Also, Peyton Manning's probably got to be number 2 for me. So then Champ would be number 3. I'll put him number 5 because number 4 is going to be Shannon Sharp for me.
There you go. Tank, what do you got?
See, and I'm like you said, you got to kind of break it down a little bit there. As hard as it is, I think he's number 8 for me all time. I have some other people ahead of him. I have Atwater ahead of him. I have Elway ahead of him. I have Davis ahead of him. I have Shannon Sharp ahead of him. I have Champ ahead of him. So that puts it, let's see, let's go. And I have Randy ahead of him. So that would make him let's go with number 7 then. He's number 7 on mine. All time.
7 all time. All right.
All
Mark?
time.
So you've got all of these other Broncos ahead of him. Where do you put Gene Mingo ahead of him?
Oh, well, he's not on the list. He's the progenitor of the list. He's the reason we have a list. He doesn't have to be on there.
He's the watcher.
Yeah, he's the watcher.
He's he who remains.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Shout out Toaster for letting me slide that one in there. Thanks, bud.
There you go. Good job. It's hard, right? Because there have been so many great players. And there have been so many great players that haven't necessarily gotten the flowers that they've deserved. I mean, you look at Gary Zimmerman, who was as dominant a left tackle as there was for the years that he played here. Tom Nalen, center forever, was just one of the best centers in the league. Mark, you brought up TD. For 4 years, the best in the game at what he did. Peyton Manning. I have a hard time with Peyton just because it was really 3 really good years, and then the Super Bowl winning year where he wasn't very good, and that was all because of injury. So he wasn't here for very long. You brought up DeMarcus Ware, wasn't here for very long. I don't think necessarily he gets consideration. The key is it's really the Champ versus Vaughn discussion.
Defensively,
Floyd Little's also a very
Absolutely.
good call.
Got his book over here somewhere.
Yep. If you're just talking about defensive, it's Champ versus Vaughn. Which one was the better? Which one was the better one? I put to you that Von Miller was the better player, and you can make the argument either way, right? It's just my personal opinion. 110 and a half sacks in his 10 years here. He averaged 10 sacks a year. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Vaughn didn't start off very good, right? He had off the field issues. He had injury concerns. He had to get his head right. And the most impressive thing about Vaughn is he was able to do that, and turned himself into what I think we all can admit is a Hall of Fame player, and one who, even though he left, is still universally beloved in Broncos country and returns the favor. And I said it in our family group chat earlier today. I think he's got this might be the last year of his deal. I didn't look, but if it's 1 or 2 years left, I would love to see him back here and play 25% of the snaps, be that leader, get vet minimum, and be able to retire as a Bronco, not on that 1-day deal, but finish the season and give him his victory lap. That's what I want to see.
Oh, have him come in like DeMarcus Ware did, and
yeah, that's what he's doing now in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He's playing 30% of the snaps.
Work with Cooper and Benito and those guys.
Absolutely. Could you imagine
come in on third down and be a monster?
Yeah, right. Like you could put him anywhere. I mean, just put Cooper in the middle, Vaughn and Nick on either side, and just raise hell. Right?
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Will it happen? Probably not, but a guy can dream. In terms of all-time Broncos, in my mind, it's John, it's Randy, and then it's Vaughn. Because I think without John Elway, we don't have the Broncos. He took subpar teams along for the ride and took them to 3 Super Bowls where they were clearly outmatched. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
And let's be honest, that Redskins team they lost to, no one was beating that team. That 49ers team they lost to, no one was beating that team. Yeah. But he took subpar teams along for the ride just by his sheer athletic brilliance. Randy Gradishar, you don't have the history of defense without Randy Gradishar, and he finally got into the Hall of Fame this year. Thank fucking God. And then it's Von Miller. Again, fun conversation. It's everyone's opinion. No one's right, wrong, or indifferent. But I think it was a good discussion to have.
Well, and like you said, it's a sliding scale on that. Though I stick Shannon in there before Vaughn because he made the tight end position what it became. He was such an influential part of that position becoming recognized for being that big-time brash receiver, not just the blocker,
Well, he
took
came out
Kellen,
about the same time as Tony Gonzalez.
Tony G, yeah.
Watched his whole career here.
Exactly. He was one, and that's why that. And I think the reason I put TD ahead is for one reason only. I don't think we get those Super Bowls without Terrell Davis, the 97 and 98. Without him in the backfield just dominating the way that he did, I don't think we get those 2 Super Bowls.
Valid arguments.
That's the only reason I kind of put them in there. So
I like Peyton's public persona with the Broncos. He's very much a Homer Broncos fan now, and that's kind of why I put him on that list, just because he is such a fucking, he's such a big part of our media market now that it's so awesome to see him every time I turn on the TV. It's repping Broncos gear most of the time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's move on to Broncos React. We all know that the Broncos boys, they're in the playoffs, and they had to go through the Chiefs JV squad to do it. More on that later. But what a fun game to watch. Mark, did you get a chance to watch it, or were you working?
I was working, but because of the implications on the line, I think a lot of people did what they needed to do, and so they left me alone enough that I could enjoy a good majority of this offensive output and defensive masterclass. You could tell they wanted that shutout bad. They wanted that. Everything about this was a moral victory. Every single part of this game was just moral. It was orange slices and Gatorades and participation ribbons for Carson Wentz, and everything about it was awesome. You have to feel good for every single person involved. There were some amazing catches. It wasn't just like they were just running over backups. They looked good. There were some athletic plays. Bo Nix ran all over the field. There is a interesting call that we can discuss, if you want to talk rugby terms, but he had one of his biggest plays called back because of a non-lateral lateral, which was interesting, but it was a fun game to watch. And again, like we said all year, this team was entertaining. And they did what they had to do. It was 38-0. It was just an absolute masterclass. What an enjoyable football game.
Tank, what do you got?
Oh yeah, it was quite enjoyable, honestly, especially for us Broncos fans and anybody that does not like Kansas City. I think was kind of enjoying that game, to be honest. As much as we did kind of beat up on the JV unit, they only benched 8 players, and I don't care if you are running your second team out there. Nobody wants to get shut out in the NFL. That's not something you sign on for at any point in time. Especially only the second team to be shut out this year. That's so no one signed up for that. I guarantee it. And Carson Wentz, as much as his skills have fell off over the last couple of years, he got a team to the playoffs a couple of times. So he's still an NFL quarterback. But God, yeah, it was so good to see the team come together, especially just defensively, to absolutely shut down everything they attempted, basically, which was great to see for the home team. In general, I think it did good for a lot of guys, especially guys that didn't get a lot of because we ended up putting a lot of our second and third team in there at the end anyway too, so it even got them some experience and a little bit of extra time on the turf, and that'll be good for them in the long run. And defensively, it was beautiful defensively. Constant pressure, constant interruption, not letting plays develop, not letting anything get bigger than what it starts out as, and that was beautiful to see, and gives me a little bit of hope for the future, no matter what happens this weekend. Just good vibes all around.
To your point, Tank, they held professional football players on the offensive side. They held them to net 98 yards. That is outstanding. I don't care. Yeah. Carson Steele, as much as we like to make fun of Carson Steele, and
I love his damn name.
I know. It's just every time he touched the ball, I was sitting. We brought the junior goon, and so he was sitting next to me. And every time he got the ball, we said Carson Steele. They rushed for 27 yards. I mean, come on, 71 yards passing. It was absolutely ridiculous. Bo was the best we've seen him all year. Right. Granted, they weren't playing against the starting defense, but you still have to complete the passes. You still have to be accurate. He was 15 of his first 16. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen some great catches. My dog is going absolutely.
What is Rocky doing?
Going nuts back there.
Oh, he's so one of the boys' girlfriends gave him a toy chicken.
Oh,
He's got the chicken and he's throwing it in the air and
playing fetch with himself.
Yeah, playing fetch with himself. He likes he's got a toy chicken and a toy monkey. Those are his two current favorites. Lost his damn mind. But Bo was fantastic. And we've seen some great catches this year in that building. We've seen tight ends with one-handed grabs. We've seen Cortland go up and make great catches. How cool was that catch in the end zone that Brandon Bailey or Devon Bailey just caught? It was right in front of us, and if you go to my TikTok, you can kind of see it. But you actually go to the Twitter page, you can see it too, at the Idiot Goons. It's such a fun play, just one of those bang, bang, up in the air. Who's got it? Well, then they had to look at it, but what a fun play that was. All in all, what a great way to end the season. We knew they had to win to get in, and they stepped up. They absolutely stepped up. And let's not forget here, fellas, regardless of what happens in the coming days, this team is ahead of schedule.
By 5 games.
Not just prediction, but they're ahead of schedule. Mm-hmm. They weren't supposed to be in the playoffs this year. None of us were expecting playoffs this year. We thought, we kind of made the meme pick. Yeah, I'll come in second in the West, blah, blah, blah. We didn't expect it. They got in the playoffs, and they got into the playoffs through the merits of winning 10 games. And that is something we have not been able to say since 2015. And it feels goddamn good to do so, don't you think?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Can't win it if you ain't in it. All right. Speaking of winning it and being in it, Mark, Pew Pew Pick'em time. Let's go.
All right. So, as we said before, playoffs are a new game. I don't give a fuck about the scores anymore. These scores don't count. I'm not keeping track of this. I have it written down, so in case you want, I can tell you what the results are. But right now, I am just going by the seat of my pants. We're just having fun talking football, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some wild card action, super wild card action, all the way until Monday, where that game has been moved. If you haven't seen, that game's been moved, but I'm sure you have by now. Anyways, let's start with the first game. The first game is the Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, wherever Chargers going to Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans, who are sputtering and spooping and spurking and blah, 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 they're not doing very good right now. But the Chargers are the only, I think, this weekend. Nope, they are not. I lied about that. They are the only on Wild Card Saturday. They are the only road favorite. The over/under in this game is 42. Matt, what do you think about this one?
We've been waiting all year for the Chargers to charger, and I don't think that this is the week they're going to do it. They're moderately healthy. Herbert has not seemed to really have had an issue with the foot all year long. He's had some games where he's been a little bit gimpy, but it really hasn't impacted his throwing motion at all. You kind of made mention of it, Mark. The Houston Texans have been on the struggle bus. Had they been in any other division, I don't know if they actually make the playoffs. The South divisions in both conferences have been absolute trash in terms of just looking at them from across the league. This is going to be the Chargers, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Do you want to take a gander on the over/under too of 42?
Shit. I mean, you're 42 is 21-20. Yeah, you know what? Give me the over. I think they're just Houston can score. They still have Joe Mixon. I think it'll be an entertaining game, but I do think it's going to be the Chargers in the over.
Frank.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of on the same idea here. Unless you're specifically a Houston fan, we all kind of see what's happening here. This team is not as honestly as good as they were last year. They're way more injured. Their defense is okay sometimes, but they're not ready for just getting hammered at all day like what's going to happen when the Chargers come to town. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers. I think they cover I think it's 3 points.
It is 3.
And then I'm going to actually take the under. I think this is going to be just Harbaugh hammering them over and over again and just rolling the timeout on the clock.
I think you guys are missing the point here, and Toaster is absolutely right. There's a secret weapon coming out of the San Diego Superchargers, and that's one Zeke Elliott, who's now on the practice squad. Yeah, let's go to the next game, which is
I don't know if there's anything I give less a fuck about except for OBJ's year.
You know what? You know what sucks about Ezekiel Elliott possibly getting playoff reps is that his last snap in the playoffs won't be that dumb play with the Cowboys. Every time he has a new snap, it takes that play to be less significant in his career.
It's never going to be less significant. And they shut the door on that when they re-signed him and actually gave him the ball again. So that's fine.
I know, but now it's his last
snap. It's like Tony Romo fumbling a snap for a field goal. I mean, it's just one of those things that will always live. It's always going to be there. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, unless the Chargers make it to the Super Bowl and Zeke scores and they win, no one's going to remember anything that's about to happen.
Right.
Well, let's carry on to the next game, and that is the Steelers versus Ravens. This one's not going to be real interesting, folks. This is a 9.5-point Vegas spread for the Ravens, who are in Baltimore at home. The over-under this one is 43.5. There is supposed to be some significant weather in this one. I do have a little bit of an insider prop I want to give you guys after your takes, but I want Frank to tell me about this one first.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. As much as NFC North games can go, or AFC North games can go either way a lot of times because they really do just beat the shit out of each other for some reason, and you can never really predict it. This one seems pretty predictable. The Ravens are Are they the best off? No, the second best offense in the entire league. They are ridiculous. They score points whenever they feel like it, and their defense progressively has actually gotten better as the season has gone on somehow. And I see just an absolute ass whooping in this game. I think Russ makes big mistakes, and I think King Henry gets another 100-yard game, and Lamar tries to further cement his. Even though it's only a regular season thing, he kind of sets in stone this MVP, his two-time MVP thing, or twice in a row MVP thing. So I've got the Ravens, I've got the over, and I think they cover the spread.
Matt.
What's the over under again?
Over under is 43.5, sir.
43.5. All right. So at some point in this playoff season, we're going to be waiting for Lamar to turn into playoff Lamar. This is not that game. I think he's got way too much to play for. The Steelers, as good as they are on the defensive line, I don't know that they're going to be able to really hold up to the punishing rushing attack that the Ravens bring to the game. The key to the over-under here is going to be the health of Zay Flowers. He did leave the game the last time he played, and haven't seen a report as to whether or not he's in or out yet, but last I heard he was questionable. So keep an eye on that if you're betting the game, because I think that will make a big difference in how many points the Baltimore scores. I don't fear the Steelers whatsoever. This is going to be Russ's 5th loss in a row. It's going to be the entire Steelers nation ready to just ship him off to wherever he's going next and start Justin Fields next year. Give me the Ravens to cover, and if Zay plays, give me the over.
Zay is out officially.
Give me the under. There's still a ton of people to catch the ball on that team, right? I mean,
likely
absolutely.
Andrews.
Yeah. Andrews likely. I mean, Andrews, the second half of Andrews' season has been just phenomenal the way it started. He was nowhere the first 6 games and then just turned on and became this machine when they actually started throwing him the ball. So, yeah, focus on one guy, they'll throw the other one.
Easy prop. So first off, there are some serious problems just in Pittsburgh in general at this point. I think we're all safe to say that offense is not firing on any page. But interesting prop bet, and I think you guys should all take the over on this one. Lamar Jackson, 217 yards over under is set. I get that's because of the weather, but I think that's an easy over. He averages 240 yards a game. I think that's an easy over on that one. 217.
Is that 217 total? Is that combined?
No, that's passing yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was combined.
Hammer that over.
Jesus.
270. It's on BetMGM right now. Go hammer that over. 217 passing yards. We're gonna skip the next one because that's
one other prop bet. One other prop bet. George Pickens gets ejected for punching Marlon Humphrey because of an underthrown Russ ball.
We're gonna skip the next game because we always talk about the Broncos game last. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next game, and that one is the Packers and Eagles. This one is in Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen. The Packers are coming into Philly as 5.5-point underdogs in this game. The over-under in this game is set at 45.5 points. Matt, what do you think about this one?
Is anyone besides the Lions constructed well enough to beat the Eagles? I don't think so. Jalen's had another week off. Saquon's rested. They're really good on the outside. They've got some talented tight end. That's a pretty good defense. I like what the Packers are building, but they've looked human the last couple of weeks. And what's going to happen with Jordan Love's injury? I have news for the Duchess. Yes, the Bears suck, but not as much as Malik Willis. So that is there.
She's aware.
Yeah, that was just brutal. This is the Eagles easy. The Packers are going to score points, right? They're certainly very talented on the offensive side, both in the backfield and on the outside. So give me the over and give me the Eagles to cover.
Okie dokie. Frank, what do you think, buddy?
I think a lot of this game really comes down to who has the better rushing day. Saquon and Jacobs are 2 of the best running backs in the league right now. And both of these offenses are kind of built to run the ball. the fact that Christian Watson out even more makes that a case for the Packers. They're going to have to lean on Jacobs because they're missing one of their bigger targets. So, as much as I want to say that I see the Packers come out of this, I think there's just going to be too much Saquon and too good of that secondary with the Eagles is just too good, I think. And the Eagles put this one away and probably cover. And yeah, I'll take the over on that one too.
Right on. Let's go on to another fun NFC game, shall we? On Wild Card Weekend, shall we? Shall we talk about another one? Okay, let's talk about it. And let's talk about a team whose quarterback is trash. Right, Matt? We're going to hear it here in a second. We're going to hear from the man himself, the words that we all want to hear about the dumpster that's going on in Tampa Bay. But right now, they're welcoming in the Washington Commanders. And the Buccaneers are at home favored by 3 points. The over-under in this spread is the highest of the weekend. It's 50.5 points currently. Frank, what do you think about this game?
I think that spread makes a shitload of sense. Both these teams can score quite well. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Tampa Bay has a, let's say, not good secondary. So I think Jaden is going to kind of do what he wants there. On the other side of it, Washington has a terrible rush defense. So if they're smart, the Bucs will feed Bucky the ball all day long and see what they can do with that. Yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to take the Bucs in a close one. I think that 3 points makes sense, and I think that's going to be the separation here. And I think the over is going to hit.
Okie dokie. What do you think, King Goon?
This Buccaneers team, as talented as it is still fundamentally flawed. Their record just speaks to they played in the worst division in football, and they still only managed to eke out on Week 18 a division title with I don't even think they got to 10 wins, did they?
No, they did. They finished 10 and 7.
They get to 10 and 7. Yeah. All right, so good for them. And this is going to be a theme. Here's the thing about Washington. They're playing with house money. This is another team that is ahead of schedule. And they've got absolutely nothing to lose here. And I think all of the pressure in the world is going to be squarely on the shoulders of the Buccaneers. I do not trust their coach to manage the game correctly. I do not trust the offense to be able to keep up with Washington's offense, and Baker Mayfield is trash. Give me the Commanders in the upset. Let's go.
I respect it.
Did you want to take the over on that one too?
Oh yeah, give me the over because it's gonna
hammer that fucking over.
It's going to be a points fest. But Baker's going to throw like 3 picks. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to pause Pew Pew Pickem because we are joined suddenly.
Where's your color?
Live, apparently.
Hello. It's me, and also a special guest, Ryan.
Hello.
Hello, Ryan.
We were at our work, what the fuck was it? Holiday party.
Yes.
And then we were involved in like an hour and a half game of Uno. So we are driving home. So hello.
Hey, dipshit,
Hello.
I have one question. How many tequila sodas were involved in this holiday party?
0, but 1 extra large hot sake. Thank you for asking.
I was going to say, it sounded like we were having some fun. So
it's also cold as fuck, and we just walked outside.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, let me ask you a couple questions here while we got you to catch you up here real quick. What do you think about the Chargers and Texans?
Chargers. Yeah, both of us are for Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you think about the Steelers and Ravens? I know where this is going, but give us the take anyways.
If the birds don't curb stomp the Steelers, I swear to God. What do you think, Ryan?
Oh, Ravens, of course.
Hell yeah, Ravens.
They destroyed
Okay,
the
speaking of birds, we've got the Packers and Eagles. What do you think about that one?
Ooh. Birds, because birds. Birds. Caw-caw.
All right, one more. You just came in right at the end of King Goon's take. What's your take on the Washington Commanders taking on Baker Mayfield as trash Buccaneers? This one we need you for because it's a tie.
Wait. Matt, what did you take?
I took the Commanders.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, I I think.
Ryan thinks the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks.
Cowards. Cowards. Also, that was the first time this has been interesting because you guys have agreed a lot to that point. So let's carry on and go to the next game, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the one I talked about. This game has moved locations. This is now taking place in Glendale, Arizona, due to some terrible situation that's going on in Los Angeles. But this is Sam Darnold, dipshits, Sam Darnold-driven Vikings taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Vikings are currently favored by 2.5 points. No, not Sam Darnold. What's his name? Sam Darnold, right?
Sam Darnold. You're right.
Yeah, okay. You were looking at me weird like I said something wrong.
No, Ghost Hunter himself, yeah.
Anyways, the Vikings are favored on the road. Well, they're both kind of on the road, but the Vikings are more on the road, favored by 2.5 points in this game. Over-under is 48. Dipshit, I want to start with you on this one since you're joining us first. Why don't you go ahead and take away this take here?
Well, you see, like both of them. Sam Darnold is the truth.
Oh.
Give me the Vikings. What do you think, Ryan?
Who is it?
The Vikings Rams.
Oh, Vikings.
Oh, Vikings. Oh, Vikings.
Oh, Vikings.
All right, King Goon, go ahead. What do you think, bud?
The Lions gave us the blueprint for how to beat the Vikings and did so in convincing fashion. However, there's a problem with that for the Rams, and they just don't have the personnel to be able to do the same thing. The other thing we have to really consider here, and Mark, you made mention of it, thoughts and prayers and all the things that we can send to the people who have suffered horribly in Los Angeles, losing homes, losing friends and loved ones. It's just an awful situation. Their mind is not going to be 100% and fully engrossed in football. I would not be surprised at all for the Rams to come out flat. Yes, it's the playoffs. Yes, they're professionals, but these are human beings. This is an awful situation. Some of these guys on this team, I'm sure, if they haven't lost a house, are in danger of doing so. There's got to be a lot of stuff weighing on them. And the Vikings just got embarrassed. Look for the Vikings to come out firing. Trust that team is going to. They were going to be on the road anyway. So this is a road game for both teams. The Vikes were already going to be on the road. Now they're in a nicer place. Vikings are going to take it and give me the over.
Frank.
I'm taking the Rams. I'm going to start there. I think 100% everyone is correct here on this. Detroit showed us the model for how to beat Minnesota last week, and apparently that is be in the general direction of Sam Darnold, and he starts panicking when it's a big time thing. I think that's going to happen again. The pass rush for the Rams is much better than the pass rush for Detroit. I think that's going to be the big difference maker here. Is Jared Verse and all his friends on the defensive side are just going to hassle Darnold all day long, and that man's going to see ghosts again. And then add in a healthy dose of Kyron Williams on the ground. I don't think Minnesota can slow him down really. And then having Puka and Cooper, let loose down the field. Maddie's due for a really good game. I think this is going to be the one. So I'm taking the Rams, and I'm taking the over.
All right. Now for that moment in Pew Pew that you've all been waiting for very, very, very long time for. In fact, we have never covered a Broncos game in the playoffs on Pew Pew Pickem. In the history of this segment, this is the first time the Broncos have been in the playoffs all 2 years. The Broncos are going on the road to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Josh Allen and the mighty Bills have a big roadblock in front of them, and that is Bo Nix. The Bills are favored by 9, so they kind of think it's a speed bump. Vegas thinks it's more of a speed bump. I think it's a big wall because I'm a fan. The over-under in this game is 47.5. Frank, I want to start with you, and then we're going to get a little Delulu after that.
Oh, I think we're going to start out Delulu on this one. I believe I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl, didn't I?
I think.
Yeah, that was before Denver got into the playoffs. I'm going full Delulu on this. I'm going to take, in a very tight matchup, the Denver Broncos. And I think it's going to be based a lot on our defense somehow slowing down Superman across the field, because that's the reason that they can win. The reason Buffalo can win is because they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I think if we can stop him, which we've proven we can stop some pretty good quarterbacks this year, Denver can do it. And as long as they're smart with the football on offense, stick to the run game when they need to, and then open it up when they have to, Denver can make this a very tight defensive game. And I think it's going to require the next part. I'm taking the under in this game because I think for Denver to win, that has to be what happens, is they slow this game down and then just beat the shit out of the Bills as much as they can on defense.
There you go. You've got the under and you've got the Broncos. That's a little bit of Delulu. Just a little bit of Delulu.
Just a little.
But I need to ramp this Delulu up. And you know what we do when we need to ramp into full Delulu? Do you know who we bring in? We bring in the dipshit. What do you think, dipshit?
Woo! Max Von Miller gets cut by the Bills tomorrow, and then signs a one-day contract with the Broncos, and also so does the Aqib Talib and Chris Simmons. Everyone comes back. It's the no-fly zone, and Josh Allen gets sacked 37 times, and Bo Nix sends 8 touchdowns. Yes. Go Broncos.
I think I got most of these predictions. So far, I've got Von Miller signs with the Broncos. I've got you've also got Aqib. I got to put Aqib.
Yeah, we're pulling the no-fly defense out of retirement.
I will say you did mention Chris Simmons. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sure he was really important.
Chris Harris. She means Chris Harris.
I know. I'm just giving her shit.
And then we can throw Justin Simmons in there. Sure.
But but it's a combo of both. It's like the best player. Then you've got Josh. Josh gets sacked 37 times and then 8 touchdowns for Bo Nix. Am I correct on that?
Yep. That's going to be it there, Captain.
Did she say Chris Evans?
Yeah, we need Captain America. That is true.
Chris.
How do you beat Superman?
Unfortunately, that guy plays for the other team. That guy is Captain America. Jesus.
I appreciate the Delulu. Let's move on to the King.
Wait, hold on. Right. Say bye to Ryan.
Oh,
bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan.
Okay. I'm going to give you X's and O's. I'm going to give you a matchup, and I'm going to give you a stat. X's and O's. What the Buffalo Bills like to do is create one-on-one matchups by bunching on one side and throwing a receiver to the other side. And the receiver on the other side, it doesn't matter if it's right or left, but the single receiver on the other side, they create a one-on-one, and that's an easy, either it's a slant or it's a sluggo or it's a quick stop. It's an easy read in a one-on-one matchup. Denver's got the one-on-one killer. And if you try to roll that out and you try to show us the bunch on one side, one guy on the other, you're automatically playing into Denver's hands and shutting down half of the field. And they can overzone the top of the other side and let PS2 lock down whoever you've got running your stupid slant. All right. That's your X's and O's. And I think that's a check mark in the column for the Broncos. Matchup wise, Buffalo's defense is pretty good, but the defensive front is small. And I'm going to give you some prop bets in a little bit to kind of help illuminate this point a little bit. But what Denver needs to do, and I think what Denver has to do, and Tank, you alluded to it a bit, they've got to run the ball, and they've got to run the ball well, and they've got to shorten the game. And when you can do that behind your all-pro right guard, first team all-pro right guard, let's say it again, all-pro right guard. Congratulations, Quinn Miners.
The belly, yep,
the belly made it, man, and that's just, I couldn't be happier. But they run the ball effectively against this undersized defensive front and take control of the game, which I think they're going to have to because the weather's not going to be great. It's going to be cold early enough. I don't think the snow is going to be an issue, but it's always windy in Buffalo. And then you tell Bo Nix, if it's there, take off. And you're going to see Bo run all over the field and do it smartly. More on that in a minute. Now I'm going to give you a stat. Did you guys know that since 2017, Sean Payton has a winning record of 28-9 against bald head coaches?
I saw that.
28-9.
I saw that today.
He has lost to one bald head coach more than once. And that guy was Dan Quinn. Sean McDermott has already beaten him once. It's not going to happen again. Full bore Delulu. Denver shocks the world 13-10. Write it down.
I think we're in the same mind space on this game.
Let me give you the prop bet that I just placed not an hour ago in MGM. Hold on.
Waiting.
Now my slip is empty. Where are my bets? Give me. Oh, it's gonna make me sign again. All right, keep talking, and I'll come back to my bets because it's gonna. Yeah.
Can I correct something now that I'm back, please?
Yes.
I said Chris Simmons. I meant Justin Simmons and Chris Harris. But I was going through a dead zone. That's my bad.
That's kind of what we thought, but at one point we thought Chris Evans.
Yeah, I heard Chris Evans at some point while I was losing connection, so I wanted to make sure that got corrected. But you know what? Now that I said that, no, Chris Evans is also going to sign for the Broncos. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so Captain America is coming.
Yeah. Okay, here's the parlay. Denver's going to have to pound the rock. Bless you, Queen. You all right over there? Okay, good. Audric Estime, over 20.5 yards. Bo Nix, over 26.5 yards. These are all on the ground. Marvin Mims, over 39.5 yards receiving. Boom. There you go.
All of those seem entirely doable, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And 13-10.
Does that not seem like that's going to be the right score for this game? If Denver has a chance of winning it, it's going to have to be low and it's going to have to be gross.
I mean, that's sort of the way that in the history of the Broncos and Bills, it's always been, there's always been two titans of offense. And
I forgot a leg, and this is going to make sense.
Okay.
Troy Franklin, over 12.5 yards receiving. Because they're finally going to connect on that long pass that they haven't hit on all goddamn year. It's going to happen. They're going to get one.
It's only going to take one for him to get those
plus 1,000 odds. Let's go.
Toaster wants you to add some Vele in there.
I'm not putting Vele in there. He's too up and down. You're
going to put Troy Franklin, but you're not going to put Vele in there?
Because he's due. And Vele caught a touchdown last game.
If I had a shiny $1 coin for every time I put money on something and said, it's due, I know. I would have a bunch of shiny $1 coins in my hand right
Vegas,
now.
We were at the game and the Junior Goon had a 7-leg parlay, and the only thing he needed was he needed 50 yards on the ground by Jaleel, and that man ended with 48.
Oh, no.
He had a 7-legger. It was like plus 1,500. And we left the game because it was cold and we wanted to go eat sandwiches, and the game was over. Like, they're putting in the scrubs. Like, this isn't worth it. Let's just go sit in the truck. And he's just watching his phone going, why isn't Jaleel in the game? Why did Estime get that carry? Just screaming the entire time. Yeah, Vegas makes some money off parlays, and I could give two shits. This one's gold. Promise.
When you say Troy Franklin is due, all I'm thinking about is this podcast's #1 fan, Mr. Toaster, sending me a bet slip with Kill McCarr anytime score and the words "he's due" about 10 days in a row.
Well, honestly, it's not a bad bet. I mean,
It's not. He plays it like a lot. He's due.
he's due. That's funny. Yeah, give me the Broncos. Give me the under.
Sweet.
End
That
story.
hopefully we're talking about another Broncos playoff game next week.
There
And
you
that's
go.
been Pew Pew Pick'em.
Awesome. Great job. Let's move into Dipshit of the Week. And Dipshit, are you still with us?
I am, but skip me.
Okay. Tank, who's your Dipshit of the Week?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of rough this week, but I think I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. So they're a very expensive, shiny, creepy, injured toy. Just got injured again. He, while training to recover from his torn Achilles, he re-tore it and had to have surgery again yesterday. So I'm glad they spent that $240 million on a guy that can't play. Makes me laugh every time.
Mark?
Yeah, I'll take that one off of my list. I definitely had Deshaun Watson as a runner up there, but I figured somebody would cover it. One of the people that I'd like to bring up for Dipshit of the Week is one Micah Parsons. I don't know if you caught this. This is 21 seconds of Micah Parsons talking on his podcast about next year's Cowboys team. I don't know if you've caught this yet, but this is gold.
For the people that kept believing, because we're not done yet. We are not done yet, and I hope that y'all don't think we're done yet. It's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing thing to see next year when we're holding the trophy. Yes, it's big goals, but I'm telling y'all right now, it's holding the trophy. I'm saying my prayers out loud. I'm saying my goals out loud, so y'all can hear them. You know, we're going to be holding a trophy up next year. Point blank period. For the people that
Now, I will give him credit for not saying what trophy they're going to be holding up, but he did say that the Dallas Cowboys would be holding up a trophy at some point next year. So that is quite the dipshit of the week. I would also like to give a honorable mention to anybody involved in Fox Sports this week.
Yeah, they had a rough go, huh?
Yeah, that's a rough. That's
There's some quiet
More to
faces
come.
out there.
holy smokes. Yeah, if you're not aware, just Google Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Oh,
Unbelievable. All right. Tank, you kind of stole the thunder, but I am going to bring it up because this is the first time contribution to any segment of the show by the Queen herself. She looks at me while we're having dinner and she says, "Are you guys doing dipshit of the day?" I said, "Of the week." Yes, we're going to do that. She's like, "Are you guys going to talk about Deshaun's injury?" I said, "We try not to. We try not to talk about the guy." She's like, "I want him to be dipshit of the week." I said, "Okay." Honorable
gets her wish.
mention, Deshaun Watson, dipshit of the week, just for the Queen. She gets whatever
Yeah.
she wants.
100%.
My dipshit of the week is anyone in the Cincinnati Bengal fan base who decided to start a change.org petition to get the Broncos thrown out of the playoffs because the Chiefs, quote unquote, threw the game. Let me explain something to you, Cincinnati Bungle fan. All right. Let me come here. Just come closer and let me explain this to your fat chili spaghetti eating face. Every game matters. Don't lose at home to the dog butt New England Patriots 16-10, and you wouldn't have to fucking worry about it, okay? Denver put themselves in the position that they needed to win the game, and they were in. You did not. Your stupid change.org petition means absolutely nothing, except it further cements you as one of the joke fan bases across the entire country. Get over yourself. Go try to figure out how you can keep T. Higgins, which I don't think is going to happen, and maybe you can make a run next year. Maybe. Until then, shut up.
yeah, I'm going to
Cincinnati Bungle fan is my dipshit of the week.
I'm going to throw a small tag onto that. Don't have the absolutely last place rated offensive lineman in the entire league being one of the major protections for your all-pro quarterback. Maybe. Protect them a little bit. Give them a chance to win the game.
Beat the Patriots. That's all you
Yeah.
got to do.
Beat any of the
Patriots,
shit
and
teams
this
that
isn't
you
a
failed.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and
16 to
tag on.
10.
I'll go ahead and tag on. Yeah, the Chiefs lost that game on purpose. Yeah, of course they lost that on purpose. You needed to take care of business earlier in the year. Who cares what the Chiefs did? Why are you focusing on that on a Sunday? And I love that video of them watching the game. Oh my God, that video is hysterical of the Bengals watching that game. Oh my God, I love it.
And let's be honest, how many teams benched starters? Almost every team that had a secured spot benched starters.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of them.
Yeah,
And they still, the Bills almost beat the Patriots. Came damn close.
I want to add a dipshit of the week. I want to add Chris Broussard to dipshits of the week. I don't know if you saw his rant on First Take when he was saying, well, when we had 16 games, this wasn't a problem. Bullshit. This happens every single year. Yeah. Every single year. Starters sit when you cannot improve or you're locked in. There's no way that you actually believe that. It's not fair. Shut up, Broussard.
I hate to tell you this.
Stick to basketball.
I hate to tell you, but if it was 16 games, then Cincinnati wouldn't have had a chance at the playoffs last week. Denver already been locked in.
Yeah, Denver was in. So,
there you go.
This is the problem with 17 game schedule is what he says. Come on.
But
he's another dipshit.
They benched starters. The Rams almost beat the Seattle with half of their offense on the field. The Ravens did the same thing. You know, benching your starters when you have a locked-in position is constant. That happens every year.
And it's
wicked
smart.
And it's
smart. Wicked smart.
Yeah. Wicked smart.
Vote.
Blood pressure's getting up. I'm over
idiots.
This. Dipshits. Okay.
What's dipshit got? Does dipshit? You good? Dipshit?
Oh yeah, dipshit.
Yeah. Okay. My dipshit of the week is any people who choose without coercion to do yoga in heated environments. I did yoga at 70 degrees last night and thought I was going to have a heat stroke and then couldn't sleep because I was melting. I left the yoga studio at 8 p.m. It's cold outside. I walked to Target. I got my stuff. I walked back to the car. I got in the vehicle. I closed the door. I put my stuff down. I turned the car on. I look up and every window in the car is fogged. I drove from the yoga studio to my house with all 4 windows down and the defroster on full blast. And I was still melting when I got home. That shit is dumb. I can't wait to do it again. I will still probably die again, but I don't care. It was a good time, and let's be real. I'm the dipshit. Me.
Awesome. Before we get into final thoughts, I do want to give a shout out and thank you to Toaster and Neil for joining us on the different channels. Toaster's on Twitch and Neil's on YouTube. Shout out to Neil. He's betting the Bills win just so the football gods can strike me down with a Broncos win. I like where your head's at.
Yes.
Well done.
Take one for the
All
team,
right.
Neil Stir.
Yep. All right. Final thoughts. Talk about the shit. Dipshit. Take it away.
Watch the PWHL game. It's going to be in Denver on Sunday. And if you pay attention and if the cameras are nice, there'll be a fucking entire crew of us in the club section, several drinks in by the time the game starts. Get hype.
How can we see that on television?
YouTube. Mom's listening. It's on
YouTube.
It's on the YouTube live stream, but it might be on ESPN Plus too.
Okay, got it.
Double check.
Awesome.
Definitely YouTube.
All right.
Prime in Canada, if there's any Canadians listening.
Nice. All right, Tank, what do you got?
Texas just apparently shit themselves into the fourth quarter, so I feel bad for them, but it looks like Ohio State's moving on. Besides that, yeah, catch me on all the socials, Tank Knox and Knox Nostalgic Collectibles. I had to take down my Frank the Tank's Cookie Bank because something malfunctioned there, so I'm trying to figure out what happened with that, but that will be up and running again pretty soon. Full-blown delusion, let's go Broncos. Broncos in Detroit in the Super Bowl. There we go.
Mark?
Let's talk about another Broncos game next week, guys. Like a future Broncos game, not the one we just watched, the one we're going to talk about. Another future Broncos game. That'd be fun.
Yeah, let's break down Broncos Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to be. Let's break
Broncos
down
Chiefs.
Broncos Chiefs.
I like that. Give me that. Give me that. That's what I want. Full Delulu. Full send Delulu.
All right.
That's all I got.
The last time the Broncos and the Bills played, the Broncos had a worse offense and they won the game, and it was in Buffalo. The precedent is there. Sean doesn't lose to bald head coaches. I am full-blown Delulu and put my money where my mouth is. Go Broncos. Make sure you catch us on all of our social channels. You can find My Brother's an Idiot on Facebook or on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at The Idiot Goons. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Poffletime. My Twitch and Twitter are at Poffalopagus. You can also find me on TikTok at King Goon Smoke. Put together a couple of really fun Broncos-style videos this week that are getting some traction. So make sure you check those out. Like, share, comment, do all the things, please. Thank you very much. Long time. And we also have a quick behind-the-scenes outtake on the Goons TikTok at The Idiot Goons that just went live not 1 hour ago. Make sure you check that out. Like, share, say that. Oh, Jody's saying hi, Marky Mark.
Hi, Jody.
There you go. Nice. Gotta love that engagement. That's all good stuff. For
we've been talking for an hour. I mean,
yeah, right. For the absent Muti, we love you, Muti.
Muti, fly safe tomorrow, Muti.
I do owe Mark a 4 out of 5 stars for shoehorning in Gene Mingo. I thought that was really well done. I just didn't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation, but I do want to get that in. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and take care of each other. This has been My Brother's an Idiot. We'll see you next time. Go Broncos!